This is the Tyler Eli Fantasy Football Tips Podcast, Season 2, Episode 7. I am your host, Tyler Belosky.
And this is your co-host, Eli Belosky.
That's right. It's another episode, number 7 this year. Eli, what are you thinking so far?
It's doing great.
Yeah.
I love it. I can't wait for the season. We just did 2 drafts on Saturday, and both of them turned out really well.
Yeah, we did our big family league, or 6 of us. So our teams are stacked, and then we did our office league. So we're looking pretty good with those. What did you do this week, Eli?
Well, a lot of things. I also went to the Bills training camp.
Yeah, how was that? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a bummer not seeing Sammy Watkins playing, and Jordan Matthews not playing, but it was still really cool.
Yeah, you met Tyrod Taylor.
Yep.
Charles Clay.
I got a bunch of autographs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Zay Jones.
Yep, I got
Yeah.
Zay Jones.
How was he looking?
He was really sweaty.
He was really sweaty. Didn't you tell me he had like a one-handed catch or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's looking good. You may want to draft him.
Yeah.
Possibly like a
Yeah,
sleeper.
deep bench. Yeah.
All right, excellent. All right, yeah. Eli went to Bill's training camp with his buddy, and I went to work. So there you go.
Yep.
Yeah, we are going to do our top 15 running backs tonight. But before we get started, we've got to mention we are teaming up this year with DraftingSleepers.com. That's DraftingSleepers.com. It's a social network for your fantasy football players. It's an awesome website. They do great things. You can also talk about baseball, basketball, football, hockey. But we're going to be on the football side since we're a football podcast. The social network for fantasy sports, DraftingSleepers.com. It's an awesome site. You can find our podcast there now. You can go on there and ask polls. You can ask questions. Right now I'm looking at Jordan Howard versus DeMarco Murray, and the guy wants some comments on that. Maybe he's going to draft between the two. And actually, we're going to answer that tonight on our podcast. So DraftingSleepers.com is an awesome website that we're teaming up with this year. You can find us there. So let's get going on our podcast, Eli. We are going to be doing our 9s, which is news, information, notes, emails. We got an email tonight too, and stats. So let's go with our first 9, Eli. That is presented by, before we do that, sorry. It's presented by Pristine Auction. PristineAuction.com is an awesome website, guys. You can find your favorite sports heroes for getting autographs on bats and balls and hockey pucks and football helmets and jerseys and
anything like that.
Pictures and just whatever you need to find autographs for. They're legit. It's free to sign up. It's free to bid. And if you lose, you don't have to worry about spending any money. You just go on to the next item you want to bid on. And if you sign up, make sure you mention our podcast. That way we can get some recognition from them too. So that'd be pretty cool. So it's PristineAuction.com, and they are presenting our 9s. Eli, go for our first 9.
Leonard Fournette, the rookie running back for the Jaguars. He has a minor foot injury. He says he's probably going to be able to make it to week 1, but just be careful of the foot injury. He says it wasn't related to his college injury, but it was on the same foot. So that could really hurt him.
It could. I think the doctors are going to take all the precautions they need to, and maybe not play him so much throughout the preseason. But he'll be ready to go week 1. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
What else you got there, bud?
There's Jay Ajayi out of concussion protocol. He's a great runner. He's definitely a first rounder now. And that's going to really help Miami in the running game.
It sure will. And the biggest thing, though, is once you get a concussion, you're more likely going to get some more. So just be cautious of that. But he's a late first, early second round pick. Yep.
And he's also gotten concussions before, so he'll probably have another one this season.
Yeah, so just watch out for Jay Ajayi.
And Jordan Matthews' chest injury, he is week to week, so I wouldn't draft him early. I might not even draft him at all. But if you do, draft him on your bench, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason you didn't see him at practice because on Monday when he had his first practice at the Bills camp, that's when he had his chest injury.
Yeah.
So he wasn't there Tuesday when you went. So yeah, Jordan Matthews is week to week. So that kind of hurts the Bills' offense right there.
Yeah.
And you got one more for us.
Chad Henne may be taking over Blake Bortles' spot as the starting QB. Blake Bortles is not doing so good this year. Not as good as everyone thought so, but they're not gonna do. They're gonna compete for that starting quarterback position. So I wouldn't draft Blake Bortles yet until we get the final word that he is the starter, and we'll keep you updated with that.
Yeah, for sure. I don't even know if I'm taking Bortles anyways. Yeah, Chet Henne is most likely going to be probably. I bet he'll be starting by the end of the year if they don't sign
Yeah.
on like. They could sign RG3, maybe Colin Kaepernick, bring in someone like that. Maybe even I've heard rumblings of probably maybe trading for Alex Smith. That'd be pretty amazing for Jacksonville. And now that you have a decent quarterback, and then pair him up with Allen Robinson, Allen Hurns, and DeMarco Murray, and Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, that would be great for them.
Yeah, some other nines for you. Devontae Freeman is out of. Oh, he's in concussion protocol. He got his bell rung a little bit, so just watch out for Devontae Freeman. I think they're just taking precaution for that. There was reports saying he didn't have concussion, someone who just a little lightheaded, so watch out for that. And Alshon Jeffrey, Sterling Shepard, and Amari Cooper are all back to practice, so they're good to go. Jeffries had I think a shoulder injury, Shepard ankle, and Amari Cooper hamstring. So they're all good to go. Continue to draft them where you're drafting them. However, you're not going to be drafting this guy, Ryan Matthews, running back for the Eagles. He just got cut this week, so Ryan Matthews is not an Eagle anymore.
He's a free agent.
He's a free agent. Not really sure where he could go. I don't know. Maybe some place. Maybe the Giants. They're talking about the Giants, maybe, or the Jets. I'd put him on the Jets.
Yeah.
And Fournette's getting old, and Powell needs someone to run with.
Yeah.
So forget Ryan Matthews. You're not going to draft him.
Yeah, either way.
Either way. So we got our first email this season, and it comes from Kurt from South Dakota. So that's pretty cool. We got some listeners out there. It says, "Hey, Tyler and Eli, let me know what you think of this mock draft. It's a 10-team PPR league. I'm in the 8th position. And I want to know what you guys think about my draft." And he got his first pick was Marshawn McCoy, Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins, Lamar Miller, Sammy Watkins, Jimmy Graham. And his starting quarterback is Kirk Cousins, and you can fill in some other guys in there. Jonathan Stewart, Thomas Rawls, Amir Abdullah, and Jamison Crowder. So, Eli, what do you think about that team?
That's pretty good. I mean, I don't like the DeAndre Hopkins. He probably could have gotten someone else, and the Sammy Watkins. Other than that, it's a pretty good team. Kirk Cousins isn't the best starting quarterback, but that's a pretty good team. I'd say it's probably a B.
A B?
Maybe a B minus, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too. I mean, he took Lamar Miller in the 4th round. He sent me this whole draft. It looks like he could have gotten Marshawn Lynch. I think I'd rather have Lynch than Lamar Miller.
Yeah.
And then also he took Sammy Watkins before Martavis Bryant. I think I would have had. I'd rather have Michael Crabtree. He could have gotten. So just if Sammy Watkins was on Buffalo, I guess I would have taken him. But those are the two big highlights, I think.
Yeah.
That I would have, and maybe even Jamison Crowder. He could have taken Calvin Benjamin or Deshaun Jackson or Larry Fitzgerald. But other than that, Kurt, I think that's a pretty solid team you got there. I'm going to go with a low B also. I don't like Kirk Cousins as much, but he could have got Big Ben. I think I'd rather have Big Ben than Kirk Cousins. But Kurt, thanks for the email. Thanks for listening. And if you guys have any questions or you want us to rank your draft or grade your draft, you can always send it to us at Tyler and Eli FF Tips at gmail.com, and we will definitely do that for you guys. So that does it for our 9s this week, presented by Pristine Auction, pristineauction.com. And so let's just get right into the topic, our top 15 running backs. It is also outfitted by our new sponsor, Fantasy Football Tees. They are an awesome company, guys. They're just coming on. They're 2-3 months old. They have some of the coolest fantasy football t-shirts out there. They take some of the coolest slogans and they make them into t-shirts like Star WR84, which is like a Star Wars theme, and Antonio Brown. The newest shirt is Game of Thrones, kind of a spin-off of Game of Thrones. They have a Sleepers.
Instead of
Snickers, they have shirts for women. They have shirts for kids. And they're just an awesome website. It's Fantasy Football Tees, T-shirts.com, fantasyfootballtshirts.com. And guys, go give them a visit. They have some pretty good deals. And you can get the coolest shirts. You can buy 3 shirts or more and get free shipping. You can buy 6 shirts and get one free. So they're all pretty cool over there at fantasytshirts.com, fantasyfootballtshirts.com.
Yeah, they're a really good site. They're just like you said, they're just coming on. They only have a couple in kids, I think, but they're gonna get really big, I bet.
Yeah, they're blowing up. They are mass producing a ton of shirts, and they're awesome. You can find them on Twitter and Facebook, and any place you want to look for social media. So Eli, let's get into our top 15 running backs. So again, just like last week, there's a ton of wide receivers, there's a ton of running backs that we can talk about. So that's why we're doing 15. And I think this week it's not going to be anything close to last week. We're going to have a wide variety of guys for you. Other than number 1 and number 2 is David Johnson and Le'Veon Bell. I think that's pretty set. I mean, if you pick anyone before those guys, realistically, you should never play fantasy football. I mean, we say that all the time, but seriously, those are the number 1, 2 guys probably off the board. Maybe if you want to pick Antonio Brown before Le'Veon Bell, but you got to take David Johnson number 1.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
So David Johnson 1 for both of us. Both of us have Le'Veon Bell at 2. Eli, who do you have at 3?
I have LaShawn McCoy from the Bills. He is a great running back. He does get injured, but he hasn't gotten injured since, like, I think 2 years ago.
With the Eagles, yep.
Yeah, he is just a dynamite running back. He can catch so many passes. But Tyrod Taylor is a good runner, but they also don't have a very good passing game now with Watkins gone. So LaShawn McCoy is definitely a first-rounder.
He is definitely first-rounder. I would talk about why I don't have LaShawn McCoy at 3. So I will take later when I talk about him. My number 3 is Melvin Gordon out of San Diego. I think he's going to have a great year this year. He is a young back, explosive back. They have a passing game, which is going to help the running game and play action. His rookie year, he didn't do a whole lot, especially getting in the end zone. Last year, he blew it up in the end zone. So I think he's going to have a repeat season, if not a little better. They got rid of Danny Woodhead, which means it adds targets to him. So he's going to get a lot more passes to him. He's got Phillip Rivers throwing the ball. I like Melvin Gordon. They got a good offensive line this year. So Melvin Gordon is my number 3. He's definitely a late first round, early second round pick.
Yeah.
My number 4 is Devontae Freeman from the Falcons. I like him this year also. He is sharing time with Tevin Coleman, but he's the lead back in Atlanta. Again, they have a good passing game, which helps freeze up the running game. He's going to go for at least 1,200 yards, I think. Probably 7 to 8 touchdowns. I like Devontae Freeman this year. Eli, who do you got number 4?
I also have Devontae Freeman. He's a great running back. Like you said, he has a great passing game behind him with Matt Ryan throwing the ball. And he is splitting time with Tevin Coleman. That's always been not too much of a problem, but he's definitely the number 1 running back in Atlanta. So that's why I have him also as number 4.
Yeah, did we say that they have a good offensive line? I think
no.
Either way, they have a good offensive line there with one of the best centers in the league. Eli, who do you have at number 5?
Number 5, I have Todd Gurley of the Rams. That just with Sammy Watkins coming in, that totally helps him with the running game because he wasn't as good because there wasn't a passing game last year, but now they have Sammy Watkins and Robert Woods, but they still have Jared Goff. But he is just going to blow it up this year.
Todd Gurley, I think he's going to repeat again, like you said, in his rookie year. Last year, not so hot. Rookie year was awesome. I like Todd Gurley this year. I have him a little lower than you. I have him down at 10. I guess it's about halfway, but I have him at 10. But yeah, for everything you said, he's going to be. I think he's going to be good this year. I think he's going to. Offensive line's a little kind of banged up a little bit. I know they lost a good offensive lineman to an injury, but Todd Gurley, I should have a bounce back year. I think now that they have a passing game.
Yeah.
If they traded for Alex Smith too, I think that would be they'd be a lot better.
Yeah.
Though Goff had a good game last night, I guess, but it's still Jared Goff. Don't get your hopes up with him. My number 5 running back is DeMarco Murray out of Tennessee. I know he's splitting time with Derrick Henry. Travis Henry was like 10 years ago. Derrick Henry, but he's still the lead back in Tennessee. They got a good passing game with Mariota with the new receivers. But Murray's good for 1,000 yards, probably about 7 to 8 touchdowns. He can catch the ball in the backfield, which is what you want now in the NFL. Is it's a passing game. But DeMarco Murray's a solid runner. He has an occasional foot injury here and there, but if you draft him, you may want to try to look at Henry too, just for that extra handcuff, which is only one of the few handcuffs I would draft for.
Yeah, he is a good red zone running back too. Last year he got a bunch of red zone targets from Mariota, running and catching. So he's definitely going to get a lot of touchdowns this year.
Yep. My number 6 is LeSean McCoy. I did have him at number 3, but the whole thing with Zeke Elliott getting suspended, not knowing when he's coming back, I pushed him at number 3 for Zeke, but then after Sammy Watkins got traded, I dropped him down to 6. I was going to put him at 7, but that's a little too far. But no passing game in Buffalo means they're going to stack the box. They're going to put 7 to 8 guys on the offensive line, forcing Buffalo to throw. And with no receivers, Tyrod's not going to be able to throw the ball. And because they're putting so many guys in the box, LeSean McCoy's not going to be able to run. I think he's still a good running back. I don't think he's going to produce enough to help Buffalo win or produce good fantasy numbers this year. He's not a bust, but he's going to be pretty close, I think, because they're going to be so busy concentrating on that running game, and the passing game's not there. There's no wide receivers. You got an old man in Bolden. You got a couple rookies, Zay Jones, and if Jordan Matthews can ever stay healthy and learn how to catch the ball. So LeSean McCoy dropped down a little bit. Still good, but you're going to be disappointed, I think, if you draft him.
Yeah. I mean, I like McCoy a little better this year, but yeah, as you said, there's no one there. They're just gonna stack up on the defensive line so that when they do run it, he's just gonna lose 10 yards, and when they pass it, they're gonna get intercepted all the time.
Yeah,
because they got rookies and Anquan Bolden.
Yeah, that Sammy Watkins trade definitely hurt the whole team. And you lose passing, now you're gonna lose running. So just be careful and just watch out for that. Eli, who do you have at number 7?
Number 6.
Number 6, sorry.
Number 6. DeMarco Murray. Like you said, he's a catching running back, so he'll get a lot of passes, a lot of touchdowns. He will definitely run the ball, but he does have a little bit of injuries. So as you said, tried to get Derrick Henry. So, but he's going to be a great running back this year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, who do you have at number 7 now?
Number 7, Melvin Gordon. He's been so dynamite for the last few years. The reason I have him at number 7, a little lower than you, is because there's not the best passing game there, but they did lose Danny Woodhead, so that helps him. And he's gonna blow it up this year. He can catch, and he doesn't get injured very often, so he's gonna do good this year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. My number 7 is Isaiah Crowell out of Cleveland. I like him this year. Everyone was big on Duke Johnson last year, and Crowell kind of got drafted later, and everyone took Duke. This year, it's Crowell's team position to lose, and Duke Johnson's taking the back seat. But Crowell, I think he's a solid runner. He can catch the ball just like Duke Johnson. They have a better offensive line this year in Cleveland. They just got to strengthen that passing game. They lost Terrell Pryor, but they brought in Kenny Britt. Not the best guy, but he had 1,000 yards last year. If they can solidify that quarterback, they would be a really good team, I think. The defense is young, but they're going to come around. I'm not drafting the defense, but they're going to come around.
Yeah, they're the worst defense, in my opinion.
Yeah, Crow's a good runner. He's going to get you 1,000 yards and probably 4 to 6 touchdowns. He's going to get you probably about 30 to 40 catches and maybe 700 yards in the receiving. So go with Isaiah Crowell, probably late 2nd, early 3rd round, I'd say.
Yeah, I have him a little lower at 14. Well, that's a lot lower.
Yeah.
But my 8 is Jordan Howard from the Bears. He's a good running back. I just don't really trust him this year to do as good as everyone thinks. So there's no passing game there because they lost Alshon Jeffrey, and they don't have a very good quarterback except for Mitch Trubisky and
That's it. I mean, Mike Glennon,
yeah, Mike Glennon, but
not that good.
yeah.
Jay Cutler's not there, so yeah.
Yeah, they're going down, and they need to get into rebuilding with the draft and free agents and trades and all that. If they can get a good wide receiver and a good quarterback, then they would be pretty good.
Yeah, Trubisky's coming around. I mean, he is a rookie, so give him a couple years, but you still need someone to throw the ball to. Kevin White isn't anything great. I mean, he used to be that everyone wants him, but now he's no one. Victor Cruz is that older veteran guy who's only going to get you a couple catches here and there.
Oh, yeah,
and,
I forgot they had Victor Cruz.
Yeah,
and then they have one more.
Cameron Meredith, but he's only going to be as good as his quarterback, and he doesn't have a good quarterback. So
he's going to be terrible.
Yeah, I have Jordan Howard a little bit lower because of the same reasons. No passing game, and just like McCoy, they're going to stack the box. My number 8 is Amir Abdullah from Detroit. If he can stay healthy, he's going to be good for 1,000+ yards and probably about 8 to 9 touchdowns. I think. I know they're a pass happy team, but I think I think some of those touchdowns are going to come through the air because he can catch the ball. I'm not too worried about Theo Redrick coming up behind him because he's injured prone, just like Abdullah is injured prone.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be Abdullah's breakout year. I think he's going to have a good year this year. So I like Amir Abdullah. I think I've drafted him a couple times in mock drafts. But moving on to number 9, it's my guy. I like him this year. I think he's going to be a stud. Marshawn Lynch from the Raiders. I know he took last year off, but that just means he's going to have rest. His legs aren't going to be as tired. I know he's a little older, but from what I've seen and read, he's going to be the real deal. I like Derek Carr throwing the ball. They got great receivers, so that's going to help the running game. He's going to bust it out. I know they got a couple of young kids behind him, but he's the number 1 running back there in Oakland. He's going to get you. I'm not going to put this out there. I'm sorry. I am going to put this out there. He's going to get about 1,200 yards.
Yeah.
1,200 yards, maybe 9 to 10 touchdowns. He doesn't really catch the ball a whole lot, but he doesn't need to. He's that pound you in the mouth kind of guy. They got other guys who can catch the ball. So Marshawn Lynch is number 9 for me. I'm going to draft him if he's sitting there 4th to 5th round probably.
Yeah, and he did this one drill. He had work boots on. He was in the sand, and he did the ladder thing. He ran the I think it's called like the skill ladder or something.
Okay. Yep.
The like the strips and where you have to like run through. I don't know what it's called, but he did that super fast with work boots on in the sand.
In the sand. That's a beast. He's beast mode.
I know.
Beast mode on Skittles.
Yeah.
Who do you got for number 9, bud?
Number 9, C.J. Anderson.
Oh.
Yeah, I have him a little high, but I think he's gonna have a turnaround year this year. Not doing super good, like not a blow up, but he's gonna do pretty good this year. There's no one else to give it to. They have an okay passing game, so I think they're gonna give it to him a lot.
Yeah, they really have no one behind him. I mean, Jamal Charles is there, but he may get cut, and it's Jamal Charles. He's not as young as he used to be. He's got some knee injuries, and there's one more guy, but if you don't know his name, he's not worth drafting. So C.J. Anderson, I think you're right. I think he's going to do a lot better this year. If they can pick which quarterback they want to do, Paxton or Lynch, then that's the same guy. Simeon or Paxton, then I think they'll have a good passing game if they can pick which one. And right now it looks like Trevor Simeon's going to be the starter.
That's good because we have him in the Scott Fishbowl League.
Exactly. My number 10 running back is Todd Gurley from the LA Rams. Same thing Eli said. They got the passing game is getting a little bit better. The offensive line's okay. I think he's going to have a good year this year. I have him just lower because I just like everyone above him. He's a good, solid running back if he can do what he did 2 years ago. And this will be the deciding year what he does. Is he going to have another blowout year or is he going to have another dud? And if you think he has another dud, that could maybe be his career. He could be done after this year if he throws up another dud.
Yeah.
So who do you have at 10, Eli?
Number 10, I have Marshawn Lynch for the same reason you do. He's a dynamite running back. He's basically smaller than Jerome Bettis, but he's got pretty much the attitude of him, and like physical wise.
I like that comparison. Yeah, that's just a big bowling ball and run you over. I like that comparison, Eli.
Yeah, but
Jerome Bennis.
yeah, he's super fast, even though he's big.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's gonna have a blowout year this year, coming back from 1 year retired and going to his hometown. So he's gonna have a great year this year.
He will. My number 11 is Jordan Howard from Chicago. As we said already, he's gonna have. I think he's gonna have a decent year. He's not gonna have a rookie year like he did last year because they had a passing game. As again, they don't have a quarterback really. So Jordan Howard is going late first, early second. I think if you could probably get him mid second to late second, I think that'd be a better pickup for you. But I know there's guys out there who like to draft running backs first, so they're going to take them early in the first. But I would hold off just a little bit.
Early in the second.
Early in the second to late, yeah. I would hold off a little bit just because he's not going to produce as well as he did last year.
Yeah, the reason I don't take Jordan Howard is, the reason I don't get Jordan Howard is because I draft wide receivers when Jordan Howard is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I don't I don't get Jordan Howard.
Yeah, I mean, if he was sitting there in the fourth round when I want to get my running back, I'll take him.
Yeah, definitely.
But he's not going to sit there because people like the running backs. Who do you have at number 11, Eli?
Number 11. I have Lamar Miller. If he doesn't have a good year this year, same thing with Todd Gurley. He's just gonna go down. This is his second year on the Texans, so if he can have a great year this year, then I think he's gonna just go up until he goes down again. So if he can get some catches from or learn the playbook a little bit more, then he'll definitely do good.
Yeah, that's his thing. I think this is his second year in Houston. He's a better understanding of the playbook, and then he's going to do a little bit the They still have to figure out the quarterback. But I think you're right. I think get that playbook in motion, and I think he's going to do great in Houston. Yeah. I have him at 13. But before we get there, who do you have at 12?
12, I have Jay Ajayi. He's injury prone with concussions, so that's why I have him really low. I'm gonna draft him for my bench if I get him, but I won't get him for my bench, so I'm not gonna be able to take him. But he's the only one in Miami. Running game wise, so that's why I have him super low.
Yeah, I had him at 10, and then I looked at my rankings this morning. I had to dump him down to 12. I switched him and Todd Gurley. I have him at 12 also, Jay Ajayi. I probably would have had him completely out of my rankings if they didn't sign Jay Cutler. But since they just signed Jay Cutler, that means the passing game is going to be a lot better instead of Matt Moore. So I have Jay Ajayi for the same reasons. He's got the concussions now. I can't trust that. His offensive line is pretty good, but this is for me right now. It's that concussions that's going to scare me a little bit. He's going late first, early second. I would try to get him if he's still there. I think the better value is late second, early third, just because he's injured. But again, you're gonna have those guys who take running back first, and he's going to be gone. So just if you want him, you're going to have to take him early.
Yeah.
My number 13 is Lamar Miller from Houston. Same thing Eli said. He's going to be if he's good, he's going to be great. But that's going to be for like 4 out of the 16 games. Last year he had about 4 great games. Never consistent. If he can stay consistent though, he's going to be good. Same thing though, as we said, no passing game quite yet. Maybe by the midway through the season he's going to be good. But Lamar Miller, just question him. He may be your second running back, not your first. If he's your first running back, you better have some good receivers and tight end before that.
Or a quarterback.
Or a really good quarterback. So who's your 13, Eli?
13, I have the rookie Leonard Fournette from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was really good in his rookie year, in his college years, and I see him having a great year in the pros. He's the number one in Jacksonville. Really, the only option with the quarterback battle. So he's definitely gonna do great this year. He can catch the ball. Just watch for his foot injuries though. But other than that, there's no excuse to draft him.
Not to draft.
Not
him.
to draft.
Not to draft him. Yeah, I like Fournette. I don't have any rookies in my top 15 because they're rookies. Rookie running backs are okay, and not everyone's going to be Zeke. Zeke Elliott just was a fluke. I think a fluke in the sense of rookie running backs. But I like Fournette. I like that pick. I'm not going to ever draft him. Not this year. I want to see what he has. They do have T.J. Yeldon and Chris Ivory, but you're not going to spend a number 4 pick in the draft on a rookie running back and not play him. So I think you're right. I think by probably week 2 or 3, he'll be the starter. I don't think he's going to start from week 1, but I like Fournette. But I can't rank a rookie running back.
I can understand that.
Yeah. Was that 13?
Yeah,
that was 13.
For me.
All right. So number 14, I have Zeke Elliott. He drops all the way down to 14, from 3 to 14 because of that suspension. Now, if it gets reduced from 6 games to, say, 3 or 4 games, which is saying that may happen, I would probably bump him up to number 5 or 6 because you're still missing games. That means you're going to miss some, your fantasy points. But for right now, Zeke Elliott's at number 14 just because of the suspension. I mean, he's a great running back. He's an awesome running back. Great offensive line. Team him up with Dak Prescott in that passing game. He's going to be dynamite. There was a reason why he was the number 3 running back before the suspension. I just don't like the suspension. That's why he got dropped down.
Yeah, I didn't have him. I don't have him ranked this year. This year. Just because of the suspension. I mean, even if it does get reduced, I'll definitely put him up there, like top 5, top 6, 7. He's gonna do great. I can see that. My number 14 is Isaiah Crowell from the Browns. He can catch the ball, like you said. But he doesn't have a good quarterback to throw the ball to him. And he's a great runner, so he's definitely going to get a lot of yards, a lot of rushes. So they're going to give it to – he's like the main guy in Cleveland, on offense at least. So, yeah, he's definitely going to get a lot of rushes and yards.
Exactly. And to wrap it up, our 15th running back, I have another old guy, just like I had for tight ends and for wide receivers. Frank Gore, consistent out of Indianapolis, never gets hurt, never misses a game, good for 1,000 yards and 6-7 touchdowns every year. He's going to do it again this year, especially if Andrew Luck's out for the first couple of games. Still waiting for reports on that. We'll still keep you updated on that. But Frank Gore is a solid running back. Once you get to 12, 13, 14 running backs, it's tough to really gauge a good running back. I'm not going to put Carlos Hyde in there or McFadden or anyone like that. So I'm going to go with a solid running back right now, Frank Gore. Solid guy. He's your number 2, maybe a flex, but you bring him off the bench. But you can get him late rounds. He's going to do wonders for your team this year. Maybe even put you in a championship game because he's good for 1,000 yards.
Yeah. I agree with that. I don't have him ranked, but yeah, I'm definitely going to take him for a bench. My number 15 is rookie Christian McCaffrey. Like you said, rookie running backs, they have to get used to the big leagues. So that's why I have him at 15 and not at 14 instead of Crow. But yeah, McCaffrey's going to do great this year. He can catch the ball. He does have Jonathan Stewart there, so that's why he's down. One of the reasons why he's down, number 15. So he will do good this year, definitely. But I'm not going to draft him for my number 1. Definitely not. Number 2, he's a okay 2 solid flex.
Exactly, yeah. Because of Stewart, I don't think he's going to take the number 1 running back this year. Maybe if we're out of playoff contention to see what he has. But I think Jay Stu's still going to be your starter. I like McCaffrey, but he's kind of like that Darren Sproles scat back. Kind of, I'm going to throw him a little dump off pass, and he's going to run for 30, 40 yards. As far as in between the tackles, He's small, he's skinny. He may get pounded on a little bit, unlike Jay Stu. But if he wasn't a rookie, I would rank him again. I'm not ranking rookies. There's a good rookie class this year though of Joe Nixon and the kid from not John Ross, but the kid from Cincinnati. They just
I think that is Joe Mixon.
Joe. I'm thinking Melvin Cook. Delvin Cook from Minnesota. Yeah. So there's a couple good running backs out there, but I just can't draft. I can't draft rookie running backs. Rank them. Draft or rank them. I would draft McCaffrey before Fournette, I think, because he's a good pass catching running back. So that's our top 15. We're gonna go to our sleepers and busts. We're gonna do 2 of each quickly.
And a blow up.
So Eli, who do you have for your first sleeper?
Mike Gillislee from the Patriots. All I really have to say is I don't think he's gonna do great this year, but I think he's gonna do better than people expected. But I forgot about the injuries when I made this, but that I still kept him as my sleeper because I still think he's gonna do a lot better than people think he is.
Yeah, just be cautious of the 15 running backs they have in New England.
Yeah.
But Mike Gillislee is a great pick. I like him a lot this year. My first sleeper is Jonathan Stewart. A lot of people are laying low on him because of McCaffrey. So if you can scoop him up in the 11th, 12th, 13th round, that's going to be a great steal for you. You can plug him in on a bye week. He'll get you He'll get you 100 yards, maybe about 9 to 10 to 12 points. He's going to be a good sleeper for you. So if you get him, keep him. And if you get him, obviously, if you draft McCaffrey, you want to get Jay Stu too. You're not going to draft Jay Stewart as your number 1, number 2, but he's going to be a good bye-week filler. My second sleeper is Latavius Murray out of Minnesota. A lot of people are talking about Delvin Cook and how awesome he looks. And I know Murray kind of coming off an injury, but they brought him in for a 1 or 2 year contract, a lot of money. They're not going to sit him on the bench. They're going to play him. Murray's not really getting drafted, so if you get him on a deep bench or a bye-week filler off free agency, I think you're going to be really happy with Latavius Murray. Eli, who's your second sleeper?
I'm just gonna go back to the Murray for a second.
Sure.
If you do get him, I wouldn't draft him. I would trade or get him off the waiver wires.
Yep.
Yeah. My second sleeper is Eddie Lacy from Seattle. I didn't think he was a deep sleeper, but when I do mock drafts, on Draft Wizard at least, they're not taking him. So he is, I guess, a deep sleeper now. Because of, I think it's because of the presence of CJ Prosise and the other guy they have there. It's
CJ Prosise and
he was the number 1 last year, I think.
Thomas Rawls.
Thomas Rawls
and CJ Prosise. Yeah, that's the only thing they're saying that CJ and Thomas may be the number 1. But Eddie Lacy is coming off an injury, so I think they're going to try to keep him slow, not really having to practice. He's a running back. He knows what to do, get the ball and run.
He's a veteran, too.
Yes, I think they just kind of keep taking him slow, watch that injury, get him used to the new playbook he's not used to. But that's a good sleeper, Eli. I think we've drafted him a couple times in mock drafts, and I think we got him in Scott Fishbowl, too.
Yeah, we did.
All right, my number 1 bust this year is Carlos Hyde from San Francisco. I think the whole 49ers organization is a bust this year. Running backs, quarterbacks, receiver. I like Pierre Garçon, but because they don't have a passing game and Brian Hoyer, it's Brian Hoyer. He did okay last year, but I don't think he's going to be able to do 16 games of okay. So that means they're going to stack the box in San Francisco. It means Carlos Hyde's not going anywhere. They have Tim Hyer coming on behind him and Joe Williams, the rookie. Joe Williams, the rookie coming up from behind him. I think the pressure's going to get to him. I could see him ending up maybe being traded by the end of the year because he's not producing because they're just stacking the box. So Carlos Hyde's my first bust. Eli, who's your first bust?
Jordan Howard. He's one of those busts where he's not gonna do anything, but he's not gonna do as good as people think or as good as last year. That's what he is for me.
Because you do have him ranked, just like last week, with some receivers. You just don't think his numbers are going to be high enough like they were last year.
Yeah, and that's why I
Yeah.
brought him down
Yep.
for Melvin Gordon and DeMarco Murray to
Excellent.
go up. But there's, like we said, there's no one in Chicago to throw the ball, and there's no one else to run the ball, really,
Yep.
except for one guy, but I forgot his name. But he's my first bust this year.
All right, who's your second bust?
Ty Montgomery.
Ooh.
I drafted. No, wait.
Yeah, you
I
drafted him.
drafted him.
Yep.
But he's not. I drafted him as my number 2, and he will go down. I'm probably gonna end up trading him by the end of the season, probably by week 6. But
There wasn't a whole lot of options either when you were drafting him. 'Cause
there's-
someone's thinking right now, well, if he's a bust, why did you draft him? Because there wasn't really anyone else to draft other than, I think it was Paul Perkins
and Spencer Ware and C.J. Anderson.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting C.J. on my bench.
Yeah, so it's not that he likes him. It's just he don't think he's going to produce as well as he did last year, just like Jordan Howard.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I do think his numbers are going to go a lot down.
Mm-hmm. And when you
that's
made-
why I'm going to trade him.
Yeah, and when you made this list, he was fumbling a couple preseason games. So
Yeah.
fumbles are not good for fantasy football. My number 2 bust is Darren McFadden from Dallas. I don't think he's going to do anything those 4 to 6 games that he's going to get. So I won't even worry about drafting him. A lot of people I've heard say, okay, if you draft Elliott, make sure you pick up Jaquez Rogers instead, or pick up Matt Forte to make up. I wouldn't pick up Alfred or even Alfred Morris. I'd take Morris over McFadden, I think. I want to take either one of them, but
Yeah.
McFadden's going to bust in those games. I think the pressure is going to get to him. He's injured since he leaving Oakland. He was injured in Oakland. He's going to bust. My blow up number 1 is Adrian Peterson from New Orleans.
Whoa.
I
Did
think
not see that.
Yeah, I think eventually he's going to take over that number 1 spot over Mark Ingram. He's healthy. He's ready to go. He's faster than Ingram. He's a better pass catching running back than Ingram. And
Although Ingram can catch the ball.
he can catch, but Peterson is faster and better.
Yeah.
And I like him this year. They got a okay offensive line, but we got Drew Brees throwing him the ball, and Sean Payton at the head coach. I like Peterson this year to blow it up.
Yeah, I can agree with that. My blow up number 1 is Marshawn Lynch.
Beast.
Yeah, he's our guy this year, for running backs at least. But he is just gonna have incredible numbers, 9 to 10 touchdowns. So one or two of those touchdowns will definitely be catching. He will get a ton of yards this year, 1,200 yards. He's just going to have a huge year this year, guys. Draft him as your number 1 running back. He's just, I keep saying this, but he's just going to have an incredible year.
Yeah, he's going to blow it up. Who's your second blow up?
Leonard Fournette, the rookie, he's going to have huge numbers, I think, definitely for a rookie. He's like the only one there except for Chris Ivory and one other guy, TJ Yeldon. And so he's having a great year this year so far, and he will have a great start in regular season. But like you said, I don't think he's gonna start the first week at least. But he will be great in every game he starts.
Exactly. I agree with that. I think he'll have a good rookie year. Not as good as Zeke last year, but he will be one of those. Him and McCaffrey will have good rookie years. My final blow up number 2 is Jaquez Rogers out of Tampa Bay. He's got 3 games to prove himself because Doug Martin comes back from suspension. But I think because he had a pretty solid showing last year at the end of the year. I think he's going to keep that momentum going. I think he's going to keep his starting job even when Martin comes back. I know there's reports out there that Martin's going to get his job back, but I think if he puts up 400 to 500 yards in those 3 games and maybe 4 or 5 touchdowns, how can you put him back on the bench? And that's what I see. I see what him going to do that because Winston's going to throw the ball, but that means it's going to open up the running game. He can catch. He can catch. Yeah. Charles Sims is not a threat to him. So if Rodgers stays healthy, I think he's my second blow up for this season.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's gonna do it for our running backs, for our blow ups, our sleepers, and our bust. Now it's time for our world-famous candy bar bet. And this time, we're going to put Leonard Fournette versus Christian McCaffrey. I'm going to take Christian McCaffrey. Eli is taking Leonard Fournette. And so whoever has the most fantasy points will win a candy bar. We also are going to do our number 8 ranked running backs. We decided it's going to be Jordan Howard for Eli and Ramiro Abdullah for me. So whoever has the most, that's another candy bar on there. So that's a world famous candy bar bet. You forgot to do the jingle. Or is it just for last year? It was just for last year.
I'll make up a new one in between this episode and the next episode.
All right, that sounds good. All right, so ways to hear our podcast. You can go to YouTube and look up the Tyler and Eli Fantasy Football Tips podcast. You can go to draftingsleepers.com. You can also find us on Twitter at Tyler Blawski. That's Tyler Belawske. And you can email us like Kurt from South Dakota did at tylerandelifftips@gmail.com. Guys, we'd love to hear your questions. You can draft. You can send us your drafts. We can grade them for you, get some help, trade tips, anything you want to do. Tips podcast. That's what it is. We're Tips podcast. Again, we want to thank you for teaming up with draftingsleepers.com. You can find us there. It's a great website. Social media website. Sorry, the social network for fantasy sports. Sorry about that, guys. And we want to thank fantasyfootballtshirts.com for sponsoring our main topic tonight. And we also want to thank pristineauction.com, where you can find the best signed memorabilia out there.
And not just sports memorabilia. You can find stuff from movies and everything, pretty much.
Every paintings. You can get authentic coal from the Titanic. You can buy it. You look it up. It's free. pristineauction.com, fantasyfootballtshirts.com, and draftingsleepers.com. Thank you guys so much for teaming up with us, sponsoring us. Eli, any closing thoughts?
Well, there was the one question of DeMarco Murray or Jordan Howard. I'm just going to answer that with DeMarco Murray because there's a lot of other people in Tennessee, so that's why I'm going to pick DeMarco Murray.
I think I'd pick Murray too. All right, that's going to do it for us for Season 2, Episode 7 of the Tyler and Eli Fantasy Football Tips Podcast. See
you
ya
next week.